What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with Dark Outpost, and it seems like every week or two there's some sort of leak or rumor out of Disney Lucasfilm about a project that's in the works that people may or may not have asked for, and most of them sound like BS, but this one I needed to talk about because it involves a character from the Star Wars expanded universe, and Disney Lucasfilm has already done damage to this character by bringing them into canon, and if these rumors have any base in truth, they will do even more. It started with this tweet right here, and I have to shout out to Steve Kenobi for tagging me in this, but it's Star Wars Direct. Rumor, Lucasfilm is reportedly planning multiple Star Wars projects for Darth Bane. Now, if you don't know who Darth Bane was, he did exist in the Star Wars expanded universe. Darth Bane is the one who created and implemented the Rule of Two, one master, one apprentice, that lasted a millennia for the Sith. And the trilogy of books that Drew Karpyshyn wrote are by a lot of people considered some of the best Star Wars around, specifically in the Star Wars expanded universe. You know, before Disney took over and took a shit on lore and legacy and canon. But Darth Bane was brought into canon already. In the 6th season of Clone Wars, he appeared in a way that doesn't look like Darth Bane, but he was Darth Bane. Yoda somehow knew who he was. Yoda knew about the Rule of Two. Star Wars has already gone on and destroyed the legacy since Disney took over, and we'll talk about that. But let's get into this rumor. Disney is definitely expanding its plans for Star Wars now that the sequel film trilogy is out of the way. Following the success of The Mandalorian, the studio has already put into motion live-action prequel series for Obi-Wan and Cassian Andor. You know, we'll see if any of those ever actually see the light of day, as well as a new animated series focused on the Bad Batch. It's looking like Disney wanted to take a shared universe approach to Star Wars, similar to what they did with the MCU. In order to do that, the company's digging into the rich history of lore and characters that Star Wars has to offer. Oh, what happened to no source material? Kathleen Kennedy? And then you changed your mind after you got called out, after you realized you got nothing else to do. God, these people, man, they tell us they don't have source material. They tell us they don't have books. They don't have comics to pull from. Look right here. They have everything they could have wanted, and they decided to throw it in the trash. Now they're trying to pick out the remains and piece it together. It's garbage. News. According to insider Daniel Rickman's Patreon, and before we get any further, Daniel Rickman has been wrong about a couple things, even very recently. So this does need to be taken with a grain of salt, what he heard. Disney has plans for multiple projects involving Darth Bane, potentially including a solo project. It's unknown if these projects would be theatrically released, movies, or Disney Plus series. Now, someone pointed something out. And I thought this was interesting. There's literally a new rumor a week about another Star Wars show. Mace Windu, Lando, Rose, Young Palpatine, Old Republic, a Ben Solo spinoff. We're in the middle of a pandemic. These are all just smoke, no fire. Most of me agrees with that sentiment. One or two of these things, you're like, okay, maybe these are actually in development. But when we hear time after time after time, it's like they're just listening to, it's like they're listening to some random person who works at Lucasfilm that heard someone talk about Mace Windu, that heard someone talk about Darth Bane, and they just piece things together and assume they're doing a Disney Plus series. That's kind of what it sounds like. What does this mean? Darth Bane is a prominent figure in Star Wars history. He's known to be one of the first Sith Lords and lived 1,000 years prior to the Clone Wars. He's most famous for implementing the Rule of Two amongst the Sith, whereby there can only be one Sith Master and one apprentice at a time. And like I stated, he made an appearance in Season 6 of the Clone Wars. And he didn't look the way he should have looked in any way, shape, or form, but he did make an appearance as a kind of spirit vision to Yoda on Korriban, which they, for some reason, renamed to Moraban because, you know, more TCW goodness, right? More TCW inconsistencies. Seen as Darth Bane is said to have existed thousands of years before most of the stories in the Star Wars timeline, it would be difficult for him to appear in any modern stories. I agree. But when you talk about Darth Bane, everyone knows him because he created the Rule of Two. And in the expanded universe, he lived 1,000 years prior to the original trilogy. But Disney has already retconned that. Disney has already destroyed Darth Bane's legacy, if you remember. Star Wars retcons Sith Rule of Two in new Rise of Skywalker novel. Rise of Skywalker Jr. novel at that, because you know we have to have inconsistencies between the movie, the adult novel, the junior novel, because that's just how Disney Lucasfilm acts. hold on, this retcon actually makes sense. No, it doesn't. Only in a world where you're trying to explain the sequel trilogy does this retcon make sense. So, for these people, maybe it does. Remember when Palpatine showed up in Exegol with an entire Sith army? Oh, and that long-standing rule from the Phantom Menace, there can only ever be 2 Sith? Don't worry, we were confused too. But luckily, a new junior novelization of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker has addressed it and cleared everything up. Yeah, a simple retcon in a junior novel, that's all you need, right? That was all well and good until Rise of Skywalker introduced an entire Sith population living in secret on Exegol, a legendary planet hidden in the unknown regions. You know, until J.J. Abrams decided that he needed to make something up because they had no plan with this sequel trilogy, as confirmed by Daisy Ridley. When J.J. Abrams did that, then they needed to create this retcon. Now, here is the quote. This is, as Rey learns when reading an ancient text, the Jedi misinterpreted the Rule of Two. There aren't just 2 Sith at any one time, but there are 2 who rule over the rest. The Prime is 1, but the Jedi are many, the excerpt reads. The Sith were many, but often emerge ruled by 2. The seeds of the Jedi have been sown throughout the galaxy, on all these places. The Sith have no seeds, since what they bury does not grow. They are despoilers of worlds. They have laid waste to once fertile habitats, and they list some of the Sith worlds. This was in the Junior Rise of Skywalker novel, right? Retconning the Rule of Two, saying, oh yeah, everybody just misinterpreted that. Everyone was just wrong about the Rule of Two, just a slight error. Well, that changes a lot of things, and that is the problem when you start just flying by the seat of your pants for the Star Wars sequel trilogy. This is the reason that I have absolutely zero interest in a Darth Bane trilogy. I want them to stay as far away from this character as they can, because one, I don't think that they really can bring him in. I think they have ruined the lore so much. It would be so complex and complicated. Why would you bring him in if the Rule of Two wasn't really a thing? Darth Bane is known for being the creator of the Rule of Two. That is his claim to fame. That is what makes him important to Star Wars, but no longer, because Disney has already retconned that. What reason would there be to bring him in? Now, obviously, he's a name that a lot of people know, and as you scroll through the responses, it's pretty interesting, because honestly, there's some people that are like, yes, please, I want this, and there's other people that are like, God, no, please stay away from Darth Bane. Don't ruin this character any more than you already have. And I think that's the way anyone, to be honest, I think most people who are well acquainted with the Star Wars Expanded Universe want Disney to stay away. They decided that they want to do their own thing and throw this away. Then do that. Create your own stuff. Stop trying to cherry pick and bring back and bastardize all of these great stories that we told you about, that we told you we wanted to hear, but you ignored everyone. Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilm. I have no desire in any way, shape, or form to see Darth Bane come to life on a Disney Plus series. Now, do I think this rumor has any validity? I suppose it could. I don't really put too much faith in it. Just like I said, we've heard all of these things. They can't all be in development. And it might be in development like, oh, here's a couple characters that we'd love to do stuff on in the future, and someone just puts it on the side of their desk somewhere. But I don't think there's any active work to be getting this done, but that's just me. That's just my take on it. Again, just to reiterate, I have no desire to see these great characters from the Star Wars Expanded Universe brought into Disney to try to, get in on the hype, get in on the love for that character, just for them to bastardize them, just for them to ruin the lore behind these characters. Now, there is one question, too, because that passage, who knows if Darth Bane would actually be set 1,000 years before? Because Yoda, in the Clone Wars series, says, you're the ancient Sith Lord Darth Bane. Well, Yoda's only Yoda was born, 100, 150 years after Darth Bane would have created the Rule of Two. So, in Yoda's mind, would that really be ancient? And this is in the Clone Wars, mind you, not before Disney took over. So is he really supposed to be living 1,000 years before like we had in original lore? The possibilities are endless for the ways that they could fuck this up, and I don't want to see them try. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.